Okay guys, here we are with the Colt 1911 railgun in 22 long rifle. Take a look inside the case. It comes with your typical stuff, some tools, warranty, spent casing, owner's manual, child safety lock, and the pistol itself. This is the Colt railgun. This is a pistol that is licensed by Colt and manufactured by Walther. It comes with a single 10 or 12 round magazine depending on the area that you're located. Walther does a great job with their magazines. They build very rugged and magazines that come with this thumb assist to help you load. Great magazine. As I was saying, Colt and Walther are making 3 different versions of this pistol. They're doing the Trophy or the Cup series, the Government or GI issue, and the Colt railgun. Obviously has the accessory rail, and it comes with quite a few other features that are more or less make this look like a custom or a tactical style 1911. But as far as the pistol itself, overall length is 8.6 inches, overall height 5.2 inches, and a width of 1 1/4 inch. Has a 5-inch barrel, and the weight is very good on this thing. It's 2 1/4 pounds. It really feels like they went out of their way to make this thing have the, not only the looks but the weight and the feel of a true 1911. Some of your other replica style 22 long rifle pistols just don't have the weight that this one does. I'm a big fan of this thing having the weight, especially if you subscribe to the muscle memory theory. If you're coming out of your holster and working on your sight alignment and your first shot placement, it's nice to have a heavier pistol that feels like a true 1911. Some of the other replica pistols, as far as the 1911s, but even as far as some of the others that just don't come anywhere near the same weight as their big brothers, like the 9 or the 40 caliber. So they did a great job with the weight. The materials that it's constructed out of, I really don't know. I know the slide is a significantly lightened slide. It's made out of an aluminum alloy. Obviously they have to lighten it so it works with the 22 blowback. So it has a light slide, but the frame itself, I don't know if it's some type of steel or just a super dense metal that they use to get to bulk up the weight. I even went as far as to pull these the rubber checkered double diamond grips. I wanted to see if they had some type of lead insert in there to make it heavier, but you pull these grips off and it's just flat sided. So I don't know what the frame is made out of, but it's definitely heavy, and it's tough for sure. So I'm thinking it's steel of some sort, but can't be 100% on that. But back to the slide. The slide itself is an aluminum alloy, and it's hard coat anodized. It has a great finish on it. I've had this thing in and out of a custom Kydex holster just too many times to even to tell you, and I see absolutely no wear on it at all. So Great finish on the slide. As you can see, it comes with your front slide serrations. I'm a big fan of that. Even if you don't use it, just aesthetically, it just adds something to it. The sights on this pistol are some type of metal. I don't know if they're steel or just a base metal, but they are metal and they're not plastic. Nice solid sight. There's windage or drift adjustment in both the front and the rear. You'll get a couple of Allen wrenches to adjust if need be. It's just your standard 3-dot Novak style sight. Great sights. I pulled this thing right out of the box and it was pretty much right on target. So I didn't have any adjustment at all. Just a fantastic shooter. As far as the controls on this pistol, they're typical 1911 style. Nothing on this side, and they're all one-sided. It comes with your 1911 style slide release, obviously your thumb safety, your grip safety that has the memory pad as well as an extended beaver tail. The trigger and the hammer are both skeletonized. So as I was saying, this Colt railgun, it comes pretty much tricked out to where, you know, it has the look and the feel of a custom or your tactical 45 1911. From what they're saying, all the controls on this are completely compatible with all your aftermarket parts. So if you were to get this pistol and you wanted to dress it up, maybe throw some stainless on there, maybe even throw an ambi thumb safety. As far as I know, you can do that. They're saying it has a high compatibility rate with all your aftermarket parts. So that's a really nice feature. I really don't foresee myself doing anything like that, but it's always an option. Maybe down the road when I switch out some parts and pieces to other 1911s, maybe they'll find their way onto this one, just to dress it up a little bit. But as far as the trigger, it has your standard double action only 1911 trigger. Real short, crisp break. So they don't list it as far as the weight of the trigger, but it's your typical 1911 style break. Real short and just very crisp. So decent trigger for sure. As far as breaking this guy down, it takes apart like your typical 1911 in some cases, but and not in all of them. So what you'll do is you'll push your spring indentation and rotate the barrel bushing. Once you have that out, and you'll want to keep pressure on that because this guy will jump across the room real quick. Once you have your spring and detent out, you'll rotate your barrel bushing and you can just pull that out. I'm not sure if this is one of the compatible parts. You know, maybe if you want to throw some stainless, if you're tricking it all out like that, maybe that's a part that you can switch out. After you do that, you'll bring the slide back and align it in the grooves. there's a notch in the frame where your slide release takes down, and I've always had a hard time pushing this one out, so I'll just take the wrench, and if you push on the back of that detent, it'll just pop your slide release out, and you can pull that out of there. You'll see that it has a nice groove on this piece that interlocks with this spring right here. So this piece is not coming out without you specifically trying to get it out. That thing is locked in place good. Once you have all that stuff out, you pull the slide back, up, and off. That's pretty much where it differs from your standard 1911. Your standard 1911 would just come off. This is a fixed barreled 22, so there is no switching this thing out. You know, whether it's a 22 conversion or you're trying to take this back to a full-fledged 45 1911. This is exclusively the 22. The slide itself, it has a few the rail guides back here that you'll have to get in there and brush out, but really not a whole lot to it. Very easy to clean. Hit it with some oil, a brush, compressor, whatever. The frame itself, it's pretty wide open. Has some pretty loose tolerances as far as the slide and the frame interconnecting. Real easy to clean. Just hit it with some oil. You can get down in there, brush a Q-tip. I'm a big fan of just letting it sit, let the oil soak in, and come back in and blast it out with an air compressor. Seems to work best for me. One of the great things about this pistol is it's not finicky or temperamental at all. Maybe partly due to the 1911 are generally pretty sloppy tolerances, and this guy, you can just get this guy just dirty as hell, and it doesn't care. Some of the other 22s, especially if you're shooting them suppressed, you'll start getting a lot of buildup and fouling back here after 200 or more rounds, and they'll start to fail or have issues. But this thing just doesn't stop. You can just keep firing just a shitload of rounds through it, and it doesn't seem to care at all. So that's one of the great things about this pistol itself. It does have a 5-inch barrel, so as far as shooting suppressed, you'll have to find an ammo that works for you. You may end up having to go subsonic, which generally there's not a real great price difference between subsonic and your standard velocity. But if you shoot like your CCI mini mags, they'll go supersonic with this 5-inch barrel, so you can't use those, or you can, but you'll definitely hear a difference in suppression if you use the higher velocity. So basically the lower velocity to subsonic ammunition with this guy if you're trying to stay quiet. To put it back together, you'll put your spring guide back in, and when you push that in, you'll see that it blocks that hole a little bit. So you'll have to be aware of that once you put your slide back on. Pull it all the way back down and slide it forward, and you can see that spring guide will get in the way of your slide release, so you'll just have to wiggle that forward, obviously making sure making sure to align these holes here, these notches. And once you have that piece put back in there, you'll see that it kind of comes at an angle, and you'll want to push up on that and push it down. Once that's back in place, slide forward, reinsert the barrel bushing, rotate, put your spring and spring detent back in, rotate back, and you're back in action. Obviously, with this guy being called the Colt railgun, it's talking about the accessory rail. I'm a big fan of throwing lights on there just for the cool factor. Obviously, this won't be a defensive pistol, so you know, maybe there's no need for a light, but having this thing set up similar to you would a defensive pistol is great, just for, you know, getting out there and practicing or training. That's a nice feature. One of the other great things about adding a light to it, if you're running the custom Kydex, the Kydex really does conform to the pistol great, but if you throw a light on there, it definitely adds another level of retention. I mean, this thing just really snaps around that light. You know, with the 1911, there's really not a whole lot for the Kydex to adhere to, but you throw that light on there, and like I said, snaps in there really great, and you have a little bit more of a pull when you're drawing it. But had a buddy of mine made these custom Kydex. They do great work. But like I said, great shooter, not finicky at all, fantastic, just right out of the box. One of the other things you can throw on there, along with your tools, you'll get the Allen wrenches for the sights, and you'll get this wrench for this barrel nut or end cap. Take that off. And this is one of the Silencerco suppressor adapter. I just prefer the Silencerco. Aesthetically, they look a little nicer. They've got a better finish to them, and also they make use of the O-ring engagement. Silencerco and SWR both use an O-ring at the end of their suppressor that helps you, that locks around this flat here on the end of the barrel, and that keeps carbon and fouling from getting on your thread. So that's a great feature there. Here we are with the Silencerco Sparrow. And that's just got fun written all over it. Like I said, great shooter. Fantastic on just abusing it. Taking just a shit ton of ammo, especially if you're shooting suppressed. You know that a lot of extra fouling and debris end up on the inner workings of your pistol, and this guy just runs through it all. So fantastic for that. One of the only drawbacks that I can find to the the Colt railgun is the sound of the action. You'll hear just a little more of a clank or a pop to the action. It's not bad at all, but if you're like me and you're a little bit OCD about every aspect of the pistol when it's suppressed, and you're trying to weed out every last aspect, this one is just a little louder action than some of your others. But like I say, not bad at all, and I'll take that slightly louder action over a pistol that doesn't get finicky after a couple of hundred rounds, because I'm getting to where I don't clean them regularly. I'll definitely sit down and do it, but I just like to get out and shoot these guys, and don't want to sit there and break them apart every single time I do. So, fantastic shooter, and a pretty damn good suppressor host. There we are with the Colt 1911 railgun. Thanks for watching.
Back so much. Great. Whew.